No,
how do I feel about that?
Yeah, no, I'm asking you personally how you feel about that, because we're talking about power and influence, and
I'm saying what I care about is the reality of goodness, not the perception of it. And what I see all over the place is people who care about looking good while doing evil. Fuck them.
Let me ask you this, because I think part of this, by the way, there's some people who said, look, owning X to begin with has just created problems, that you've created so many amazing things that are changing our world. And I know you want to make X this fabulous town square free speech platform, but that unto itself, that has created such a distraction of all of these things. This is the conversation we're having. We're not focused, or we're not talking at least yet, and we will. On Tesla, you have your Cybertruck.
That's Elon Musk destroying the legacy media, destroying companies that want to make X against free speech. And Elon Musk is blasting the legacy media in Germany as well, tweeting, people in Germany really need to use X to know what's really happening. The legacy media is pure propaganda. Send X.com links to friends in Europe. This is Elon Musk reacting to the tweet from Naomi, saying the Spiegel and the Welt, which are very popular newspapers in Germany, are saying the same thing, that Trump is making ultra-right conspiracy terrorist and FBI chief, Kash Patel, right? Causing quite the outrage in Germany. So that's basically the headline from the Welt, the newspaper from Germany, saying Trump making ultra-right conspiracy terrorists, the FBI chief. And people are not happy, but they are not the only newspaper in Germany saying that. Every leftist media is saying the same thing. Also the Guardian from UK saying conspiracy terrorist Kash Patel is new Trump's pick to lead the FBI and is facing Senate blowback. So you should not trust what anybody says on X. You should not trust what you read into the legacy media. You should take the news from many different sources and make your own opinion about things, right? Do not trust what the newspaper is saying. The newspaper and the headlines like Welt, Spiegel, Guardian, they are just making huge headlines so they're in the hope that people click on the headline and read, and so they get clicks and get views and get advertising money. So that's why they are so controversial in their headlines. So do not trust exactly what the headline said. Do not trust exactly what people said on X either. You should find information from many different sources and make your own opinion about it. So here's exactly who is Kash Patel. Let's learn a little bit more about if he's actually a conspiracy theorist or not.
Criminal prosecutions. Kash, I know you're probably going to be head of the CIA, but do you believe that you can deliver the goods on this in a pretty short order, the first couple of months, so we can get rolling on prosecutions?
Yes, we got the bench for it, Bannon, and you know those guys. I'm not going to go out there and say their names right now so the radical left-wing media can terrorize them. But, excuse me, the one thing we learned in the Trump administration the first go-around is we got to put in all-America patriots top to bottom. And we got them for law enforcement. We got them for intel collection. We got them for offensive operations. We got them for DOD, CIA, everywhere. And the one thing we will do that they never will do is we will follow the facts and the law and go to courts of law and correct these justices and lawyers who have been prosecuting these cases based on politics and actually issuing them as lawfare. We will go out and find the conspirators, not just in government, but in the media. Yes, we're going to come after the people in the media who lied about American citizens, who helped Joe Biden rig presidential elections. We're going to come after you. Whether it's criminally or civilly, we'll figure that out. But yeah, we're putting you all on notice. And Steve, this is why they hate us. This is why we're tyrannical. This is why we're dictators, because we're actually going to use the Constitution to prosecute them for crimes they said we have always been guilty of, but never have.
Wow, that's some very strong words from Kash Patel here. He's going after people that are making the conspiracies, and by adding the FBI, he's going to unveil some covers and unveil the truth about what people have been saying all this time. The deep state classify everything that can expose them, right? He wants to get rid of it. He wants to find the truth and ultimately makes justice. So let's hear
a 24/7 declassification office, whatever you want to call it. transparency, truth, whatever, I don't care. Sits in the White House, reports directly to you, and you take incoming from the United States of America. I want JFK. I want the 9/11 files. I want this. I want that. All the FBI, and this is a tool, this is something we didn't cover. What the deep state uses the most to cover up their corruption is an illegal application of the classification system. Remember the Lovebirds text from, this is a beauty, the Lovebirds text from FBI, DOJ land, Russiagate, Strzok and Page were texting each other. Who they were running the Russiagate investigation against Trump. They were the head of the counterintelligence unit at the FBI. And they're having an extramarital affair together. Can't make this stuff up. They're sending each other texts about how much they hate Trump and are going to create an insurance policy to stop Trump. Then we finally find those text messages. You know what the FBI and DOJ do for like a year? Redact them to congressional investigators and congressional men and women running the oversight of their agency. That's just one example. But it gets even better. Here's the deep state full circle. Just last week, do you know what Strzok and Page received from the Department of Justice?
What?
A $1.5 million payout to settle a lawsuit that Strzok and Page brought for the improper disclosure of their personal text messages on FBI phones. And the DOJ just rewarded them. They broke the law. They broke the chain of command. They broke every regulation there is in the FBI.
Wow.
They weaponized the system of justice against a political target they hated.
That's insane.
Found those text messages, and we got them declassified finally in full when I became Deputy Director of National Intelligence. And the world has now seen them, and they can read them. And that's the best form of transparency. That's why I want this 24/7 declassification office.
He's doing the
Don't
right
have me
thing. I'm totally
regurgitate it to
with
you.
that.
Read it. Get the documents, get the files, get the memos. But the deep state came full circle and gave these guys a payday
That sounds good to
for
me.
rigging a presidential election and breaking the law. So now you know what happens. That's step one. Step two, get America the truth. And that's what that office would be for.
I believe he's going to do the right thing. I believe he's the right person for the job. I believe he's going to do everything in his power to make everything right. So let's hear a little bit more about who is Kash Patel from the ABC network.
President-elect Donald Trump making good on his campaign pledge, calling for radical changes at the FBI, selecting one of his fiercest loyalists, Kash Patel, to lead the agency.
He's tough, he's smart, he loves our country, and he is a warrior, Kash Patel.
Trump on Truth Social calling him a brilliant lawyer, investigator, and America First fighter.
And we all have a job to do. We have the benefit. We're blessed by God to have Donald Trump be our juggernaut of justice.
The 44-year-old Patel grew up on Long Island, the son of immigrants from Africa with Indian heritage. He attended Pace University, went on to be a public defender in Miami for 9 years, and then served as a Department of Justice prosecutor.
Kash Patel, where's Kash? Thank you, Kash.
The hardliner has been an ally to Trump for years, appearing at his criminal trial in New York and earning the praise of longtime Trump confidant Roger Stone on Stone's podcast.
Well, as you know, Kash, I'm a dog lover. I have named one of my dogs Kash. This is not to make light of you. This is a homage to you. This is because I admire you and your fight.
Patel has called for shutting down the FBI's headquarters in Washington.
I'd shut down the FBI Hoover building on day one and reopening the next day as a museum of the deep state.
In his book writing, drastic measures need to be taken and that Democrats should be very afraid.
I'm never going to be the one that says defund the FBI or get rid of it, but it needs a complete rehabilitation.
He has spread false
I
claims
agree.
about voter fraud January 6th and accused the so-called deep state of targeting Trump.
The government gangsters in Washington, D.C. have one main operational arm. That is a two-tier system of justice that they choose to weaponize and politicize because we care more about America than they do.
He's also talked positively about the QAnon conspiracy on the podcast Patriot Party News.
You got to harness that following that Q has garnered and just sort of tweak it a little bit. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying, he should get credit for all the things he has accomplished.
And in an appearance on Steve Bannon's podcast, he's vowed to go after Trump's adversaries in the federal government and the media, too.
We will go out and find the conspirators, not just in government, but in the media. We're going to come after you. Whether it's criminally or civilly, we'll figure that out. But yeah, we're putting you all on notice.
During Trump's first term, Patel served on the National Security Council before temporary roles as the Deputy Director of National Intelligence and the Pentagon. He was a vocal critic of the investigation into Trump's ties to Russia. Trump even talked about making Patel Deputy FBI Director in 2020. But then Attorney General Bill Barr opposed the move so much he said it would only, quote, happen over my dead body. Ever since the Watergate scandal, Congress decided that the FBI director should serve a 10-year term, specifically to avoid White House interference in criminal investigations. And traditionally, nominees have tried to appear apolitical. Trump himself nominated the current director, Christopher Wray, who assumed the role back in 2017. And he would need to fire him first, or Wray would need to offer his resignation.
Well, Christopher Wray, of course, is a Republican, appointed by a Republican, as he has said, but apparently has demonstrated too much independence and objectivity in the job for Donald Trump.
But Republican Senator Mike Rounds of South Dakota has expressed confidence in Wray's leadership, calling him a, quote, very good man.
I don't have any complaints about the way that he's done his job right now. And the message, and one that I feel very strongly about, is that there is a constitutional separation. The Founding Fathers did that for a reason. We accept that the president should have the people that he wants in his cabinet and on his team. Every president wants that. We give them the benefit of the doubt.
Senator Chuck Grassley of Iowa, who is in line to chair the Senate Judiciary Committee next month, has been more critical of Wray, on X writing that he had failed as FBI director and that Patel must prove to Congress he will reform and restore public trust in the FBI.
Oh, wow. So that's going to be a lot of work for Kash Patel to get in position. He must prove to Congress that he will reform and restore public trust in the FBI. But I believe he can do the job. I believe he can. I believe it's going to be a great pick for the FBI. But keep in mind, Trump is only picking the people that favors him to be in position of power. So all the head of the government agency are going to be in huge favor of Donald Trump then, and he will have the full power to make the nation great again. Well, we will see if that's really the case, if that really happens, if Trump actually says what he means he will do, and we will see how it unfolds over the coming years. Subscribe to the channel and watch the next video by clicking right there, and I will see you there. Bye bye.